It's my Etsy-versary. I want to share with you 10 tips I've learnt in 10 years on Etsy. Hey, I'm Duthie, and I'm here to help you craft your career with creative marketing and artistic inspiration. And I've been a seller on Etsy for 10 years now, and boy, what a journey it's been. So I wanted to share with you 10 things that I've learnt that are super important if you want to start a shop on Etsy and grow a shop on Etsy. So buckle up, let's get started. Now, much of my success on Etsy over the years has been because of a little help from friends, some tips and advice. So I would love it if you guys could share in the comments down below what you think are the most important things that you found, little tips that have helped you do well on Etsy. Just share them in the comments below, dive in the comments down below and see if there's anything we can learn. So, most important tip number 1 is your photographs. These, I have banged on about these so much. They are super, super important because if you're online, you can't pick up, you can't feel, you can't see the item. You have to rely on the photographs. And not only that, but the internet is such a visual world. If your stuff looks amazing, then people are going to share it. They're going to love it. They're going to interact with it. So the better your photographs look, the more likely they're going to click on Etsy, but also the more likely they're going to share it in social media. And bringing people in from social media, that's really going to help your shop grow. And just for comparison's sake, I want to show you one of my very first pictures to one of my latest pictures, so you can see how I've developed and learnt, hopefully, over the years. And tip number 2 is your story. People love a story. They love that they're buying from a creator who's a person who has real things. For example, myself, my mother and the rest of my family actually run a charity for bowel cancer, and I mention this in my shop bio because my father died of bowel cancer. And people are so supportive and often message me and comment about this part of my bio because this adds a human touch. I'm not just adding a sob story for nothing. This is something that we all have passion about, but it's important to add these little human touches so people can get to know you. And also being here, being on Facebook, being active in groups so people get to know me as a person rather than some massive corporation. Tip number 3. Prices are not actually as important as you think. Yeah, I did the thing in the beginning. I was getting no sales, so I dropped my prices. And I didn't get any more sales. Eventually, once I dropped them so low, I got some sales. But really, actually, as I've spoke about before, the cheaper your items are, the less people will value them, the less people will think they're cheap rubbish, and the less I'm going to want to make them because I'm working for a stranger for nothing. But slashing your prices, doing massive basement sales is not going to get you more attention if you're not already getting it. If you're getting hundreds and thousands of views and no sales, your prices might be high. If you're getting no views, then it doesn't matter what your prices are because no one's seeing you. So there's far more important things to worry about. Step number 4, look at your packaging. It's really been awesome over the years to watch how the trends for packaging have changed. Initially when I started, everyone would comment, you got reviews on your packaging, and people were super impressed if you were using recycled packaging or something a little bit different. But now buyers on Etsy are wanting a little bit more professional, and sometimes even people complain on forums and things if something's sent in a recyclable box. You can even get companies that'll do custom print work on your boxes for you, so you get that little extra personal touch. So it's all about seeing what the customers are liking at the minute in time and taking the feedback. I used to send my items all cocooned up in a bubble mailer, but I got some feedback a couple of times that actually the mailer was turning up damaged. The items were still fine, but the mailer was damaged, so I moved on to more secure boxes. Tip number 5, your niche is so important. Very few shops on Etsy do well trying to sell 40 different types of things, knitwear and cards and polymer clay, and there's no connect between the shop. Basically, if a shop has a similar theme and you find that shop, then it's pretty much targeted for you. The rest of the items are going to be interesting for you. So even if the one item you weren't quite wanting to buy, you still have hundreds of other items to browse through. It's your kind of shop, and you're going to come back, you're going to follow them, you're going to share them, you're going to interact with them so much more. It's also far easier to find your target audience and target them, to go in the groups and social media, etc., because you're only looking for one type of person. and it's much easier to rank in search if you're only aiming for the one thing. So niche down to something a little more specific instead of trying to sell all things at once. Tip number 6, listen to your customers. Sometimes customers have really great ideas. Like I mentioned before about the packaging, they let me know that the packaging I was using wasn't as good as it could be, so I changed that up. Also, I've had some great ideas for listings based on what customers have asked for. For instance, I've just started a new range on needle felting 3D items, 3D sculptures from you or your child's drawings. This was based on what a customer asked for. And also my most popular listing, the cat splat bookmark, this was based on what customers asked for. I dreamed up a dog splat bookmark, and over time people asked for variations. Could it be more black? Could it be all black? How about making it a cat? And as I did these things, it became more and more popular. People really liked what I'd just made, so my customers guided me to my most popular listing. Tip 7, forums and groups and communities. Not just for your target audience, but to learn about Etsy. If you're active in the forums getting to know people, then if you're needing help, people know, trust and like you. You've helped a lot of people in the past, so they're more likely to jump in and help you. But also this is a great way to keep up to date on changes that have happened on Etsy. Don't get bogged down by the negative. There will always be 200 posts of people saying Etsy's died. But if you dig deeper and have a look, you can look and see, has there been any actual changes that we need to deal with? What trends are happening? It's just a great place to keep in touch with what's going on. Tip number 8, Etsy Rank. This website app is a game changer. It really helps you with your SEO, but it also in minutes lets you see anything that's lacking in your shop. Have you got spelling mistakes? Are you missing tags? This can find them instantly, and in a click you can change them. So it just helps you out so much. And the free version of the app gives you so many features that basically for many years I've just been running on the free version. I'm using the paid version now, mainly because I want to support them, but there is so much extra functionality that it is great. But you don't need to spend a single penny. The free version of Etsy Rank is a fantastic website. Tip number 9, your quantity of listings. This is something that quite discouraged me in the past. People were talking about you need 100, 200 listings in your shop, and I thought to myself, how on earth am I going to do that? Each of my listings takes about a week to make. I'll never get there. But with cunning ideas, for instance, making each listing, each new item that I made, I would make into a custom listing with that photograph of the item that had already gone to their customer. This was used as an example of what I could make in a custom listing. I also found new ways to make different ranges, like the splat bookmarks, and also things like having multiple listings. If you want 1 sculpture, 2 sculptures, 3 sculptures, that's 3 times the listings. But it is super important to have more listings in your shop. This gives people much more confidence, and it also lets them get sucked into the rabbit hole of browsing your entire shop and finding loads of things they like the look of. And if they found something in your shop that's not exactly what they wanted, they might spend a couple of minutes looking through the rest of your shop. People are lazy. Rather than message you and ask for the thing they want, they'll have a quick look, see if it's there. If it's not, they'll search, go to someone else's shop. So you've got more chance of hooking that customer if you have more listings. And tip number 10, the most important one, SEO, SEO, SEO. What is that? Search engine optimization. This is the biggest one. This is the one that took my shop from me nearly shutting it down because I was getting 10 sales in a year to flying and getting hundreds of sales in a year. It seems daunting, but learn a little bit every day, implement little things that you've learned. I've actually got a series of videos on this, a playlist. So if you want to dive into that and learn a little bit more, I would totally recommend going there. But learning about SEO is the one thing that stopped me from shutting down my shop. So guys, thank you for joining me. I hope that was helpful for you. For my Etsy birthday month, I've got some exciting things coming up. So come back tomorrow and hear all about them. Thank you so much for joining me. Click on my wee face to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.